Good morning. We are going to try to get out my side-by-side that I bought this past summer, and I'm going to look at the snowplow on it. The snowplow will work in its current configuration, but I may be shortening up the throw arm on it, and I'll show that to you and explain it to you when I get it out, so that the plow will actually come up higher. Right now it only comes up so far because the two arms on it go so far back under the chassis that it can't, lift it up higher. I fixed up the, what do they call those things that you wrap around a tree if you get stuck and pull yourself, the winch on it to pull it up to where it's at right now, more efficiently than the way it was when I had purchased it. I bought this secondhand, and actually a friend of mine had owned it prior to the motorcycle dealership purchasing it from him when he traded his in. So I know the machine and know it's in pretty good shape, but this was kind of an add-on homemade plow. We got some snow that's supposed to be coming into the loo here this Saturday, so we'll see about whether or not we can actually make this into a workable item, and whether I want to try to take on shortening those throw arms to allow the plow to work a little bit better. I think I might have some pictures on file somewhere of when I bought it, and I'll try to post those here so that you can see what I was talking about. It really didn't fit very well on my trailer out back, and it's actually physically located out here in the backyard. Yeah, let's see, just recently painted these doors and fixed them up and fixed these locks, and the paint is kind of stiff on some of those locks there. And the door was actually kind of stuck in the jam, but it works a lot better. Yeah, I've got this trailer out here, and I'm not going to do anything with it just now, but I painted it all up, fixed the spare tire to where it could fit there, put a bunch of linseed oil on the deck to try to extend its life a little bit. It's getting real old. All my lights and what have you work real good. They're all soldered and solid, but the side-by-side is physically, I made this garage door, and I wish I'd have done a video on it, because this is actually 1x4s that are to make these panels here all appear like that, and I took a router and kind of routed those edges there to make it look like a garage door. But this was an old door that my dad had on his garage where I lived at my childhood home. Took that all down, built that into the shed, and it actually worked out pretty good. Anywho, here's the side-by-side, and you can see that aluminum box back there. That fits and actually just clamps right on back here, and that allows me a little dump bed when I need one. And then behind that aluminum box there is the plow. So we'll get this all out and see if we can't assess whether we want to try to shorten those throw arms or not. So here's what I'd like to do, is take these guys here off, shorten this to about here, and underneath here you can see I've got this crossbar here, which was an after fix that my friend had done on putting this snowplow on, and move that mounting maybe up to somewhere around in here, or I don't know what. We got to kind of look at things and see how it best works out. But if I can get this to where it's up here. Oh, I forgot to get the winch. The winch goes into here and it plugs into this little electrical connector there, and it just basically just picks up and down, you know, up off the floor, the rig. So if I can shorten that, then it will shorten those poles there, and the connection point, it'll pivot at a much less angle as opposed to all this, and keep from getting stuck underneath the okay, so I got a number of things in play here. First of all, the pick point for this hook is way up here, and that would put this into a bit of a bind where this hose is fed, or the cable is fed through this hole, and this got a nice rounded edge to it. Now I want to try to get this snowplow as far forward as I can. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is take a drill and drill out this hole off center, you know, to where I can leave as much meat up here as possible, and kind of just, you know, file that out to where this is the weakest amount of material in this area for that hook to be able to fit through there proper. And it'll be just that far forward to where it won't be putting things into a bind up through that hole. And my plow bars, I'm going to call those the plow bars back there, are too narrow for where I'd hoped to pin those on here. And I don't want to have to bolt this thing on, so I want to be able to try to keep it to where it's quick with quick bolts, or, you know, brackets to allow me to just pin this thing on there. So what I'm thinking is I may try to build a bracket that'll fit with a hole maybe down in this area here that's rigid somehow to this steel that's in place here. Maybe capture both sides of this with some, you know, something that like a U-shaped piece that fits over this, and that comes out here with this hole to pin these pieces. So we cut the plow bars shorter to about this area here, and then re-weld those pin brackets there in this area here, so that it basically will hinge from here to this location. You see, it basically hinge from that point to there, a much shorter throw, and come up. And getting this forward like this will try to minimize some conflict between the motor, this motor assembly here, and the plow. So that's what we're going to try to come up with. Got a number of things in play. We just need to get into fitting some pieces and see if I can't make something work here. All right, so if we got this right here, try to bring some light in here on this, maybe a little bit better. This guy will not move either way. We'll put a hole in down here that these pins will work in, and see if we can make new connection points for this plow. And if you come out here, that's kind of an overall view. Okay, I think we've got our plan now. What I've found is I looked all over in my scrap metal. I couldn't find a piece that I felt would be strong enough and good enough in design to handle the stresses. So what I'm going to have to do is when we take off those back pieces here that we need to reuse, and they'll be pinned basically up here about where my finger is at, once we get those extensions built and put down here, is I'm going to cut this guy right at about this location underneath the bolt here. That should give me about 16.5 inches in length on that. So if I kind of concave the plow bars and put one of those across there, I can use the end of that tube as a butt weld into each of those guys at 16.5 inches, and that'll put me right on here where I'll be able to pin those guys through that. So that's the concept, that's what we're going to do. So time to fabricate. Okay, so you saw me make this mark right there on using a plumb bob and a square off the floor. And what I've found is that the connection point is roughly 2¼ inches. I don't know how well that's showing up on the camera. The connection point is about 2¼ inches back from that point. So I can take another 2¼ inches off that pipe and leave more refuse for the cross pipe. I need 16.5 inches point to point here to fit the frame as I've got it over there. So you're going to see me measure another 2¼ inches and take that off and then add that piece back. All right, so. Okay, so by now I think you're pretty well up to speed with what I'm trying to accomplish here. This guy right there, we need to cut him down to 16.5 inches wide. And then these guys are going to be welded, sorry about that, on each side. Again, about 2.5 inches back from that hole up there, because that's the connection point to that little piece that I fabricated for each side of the frame. So we'll cut this down to 16.5 inches in width. We'll weld these guys onto it, and then weld this guy right onto those guys. And you saw me kind of try to concave those other pipes a little bit. And with these pieces on the side, on each side like that, then we will have our new configuration to connect up to that guy with basically just using 2 pins and a hook. And we'll be able to take it on and off, and hopefully it'll go up and down higher than what it used to, and bring on the snow for tomorrow. Woohoo! Well, I'm ecstatic. Let's put it that way. This is a whole lot higher. You can see that it is up higher at an angle. That angle there is higher than what was before. It was probably only about 6 inches off the ground. And I'd say now we've got every bit of a foot. Oh, let's take a tape here to see where we are at. Yeah, we're right at a foot up off the ground. And I think that will clear the rails of my trailer now. So I should be able to take this almost anywhere. Let's go out and take a look at it together and see how high those rails are on the sides of my trailer I would use to move this thing around. And again, we're about a foot tall off the unit itself. From the deck here, we're looking at less than a foot. So it's right at about 10 1/4 inches is what I'm measuring there. So that's going to clear. The unit with Snowplow will now fit on that trailer clear, and we'll be able to go move that side by side around to different locales and help people with snow. And maybe a later video I'll let y'all see this thing in action, because actually when we first got this, we cleaned up the plow, made it a little bit shorter on both sides so that it would fit easily into my shed, but the overall unit is way too long for the shed to fit in there with the plow on. So I have to take the plow off to put it in the shed. I'll have to keep this in the main shop during the winter months. And then I've got a couple little caps I put on the bottom down here. I might have told you before, to keep these things from sliding through, these marker indicators on each side of the plow. So I'll be able to see from in the cab where the ends of the plow are at, and give you that perspective as well. I guess the next thing will be to try to see if I can come up with a system to, yeah, I definitely can see those guys without a problem. Another system to maybe temporarily put on some solid pieces of material around this cab, this open cab frame, roll bar, whatever you want to call it, on there, and see what we can do to keep that from looking too, I don't know, backyardy, for lack of a better way to describe it. But we definitely came up with a excellent system to get this plow up higher off the ground. It makes a lot more sense, and it's actually probably even a lot stronger than what it was. So just real tickled with the way this project came out. All right, so we'll edit this guy down and try to get this out tonight on YouTube. And thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate your support and watching the videos and stuff. Hopefully I've got content that you're enjoying. I'm certainly enjoying making it for you. We'll see you later.